You know, one of my theories about writing songs is I have a few acoustics at home. And if you're like me and you play guitar, when you pick up a guitar and you have the urge to write, you usually don't want to plug your electric guitar in. You just pick up an acoustic guitar and you start playing the acoustic guitar. I know a lot of guitar players that are like that. I know Paul Gilbert, and he does the same exact thing. He's got a lot of acoustic guitars around his house, and he writes all the time on acoustic guitar. And if it sounds good, you know, that was one of the things, I remember discussing this with Paul Gilbert one time. If you write something and it sounds good on acoustic guitar, then that's a good sign. Sometimes if you write something and it sounds good on electric and you try to translate it to acoustic, it doesn't always come across very well. But if it sounds good on acoustic, it'll usually sound good on every instrument. So
why is that?
I think it's because it's such a simple instrument. You know, you can't rely on volume, you can't rely on distortion, you can't rely on your flanger pedal. You know, you can't rely on those effects that some people do rely on to make things sound interesting. So you have to rely on cool chord changes and cool melodies and dynamics. And those are things that a lot of musicians, they can get pushed aside because there's so much technology out there. And back in the day, you know, I'm sure they've had foot pedals and great amps for decades, but I think a great song is a great song, and that usually comes across on acoustic guitar as well.
Who's responsible for the songwriting on Steel-Panther?
Well, you know, I usually demo songs up. I'll write them, like when we're on the road, I'll write stuff in my head, and then when I can find a guitar, I'll play it and see if it sounds good. And then when I'm back at home in my home studio, which is just a 4-track cassette. Tascam, dude, 1984.
Yeah.
And I'll demo it up, bounce all the tracks. And so I demo up all the stuff, and I like to sing and play bass, and you know, I'll program the drums, and I'll bring the guys demos of songs, and then, you know, I'll write 15 songs, and we'll, you know, sometimes our single will write a couple, and we'll bring them in, and we'll pick the ones that we like, and then we'll go through every song and really just pick the favorite ones. Like, okay, which ones are our favorites? And it sucks because when you write a lot of songs, like, there's going to be songs that no matter what you do, like that song doesn't make it. But you like all your songs if you're a songwriter, so you get sad. Why didn't you like that song? Like, you could have 14 songs that get picked, and you're going to focus on the one song that doesn't get picked. You don't like that one song.
Does that happen a lot?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty prolific when it comes to writing because I just write I don't need my guitar to write, so I'll just write in my head on the plane. And, you know, I'll come up with lyrical ideas. And then, you know, if somebody says something bitchin' to me, like, I'll remember it as a song title. All right. And then I'll go, oh, that's a great song title. You know, and really to me, like, a great song needs to have a cool chorus that you can remember, something, you know, that really grabs you and that people want to sing along with, you know. And so I'll try to remember those choruses or the song titles that to me feel like, oh, like if you read you know, when you see the song title Asian Hooker, you go, oh, I want to hear that. I want to hear a song about an Asian hooker. And so you want to hear something that you can sing along to, and that sticks in your head. So when you go to sleep at night, it's playing over and over in your head, and it annoys the hell out of you. That riff is part of the instrumentation on the actual record is a ukulele.
All right.
An acoustical ukulele that my grandma bought when she was in Hawaii in the early 1950s. And I used to play it it was at her house when I was a little kid, and it got smushed. The whole front of the ukulele is cracked. But but I wanted something that sounded, you know,
Kind of
Asian.
flashy.
Yeah, and that was the closest thing I had to like something that sounded, you know, there's a lot of Asian instruments that I don't have, like a bouzouki and like all those cool instruments. And so I think I found some stuff on like a keyboard that sounded Asian, but that ukulele, I played it and it sounds great. And I know my grandma, wherever she is, she's very happy about that. But yeah, so that riff. I'm in Tokyo, looking for. Sounds great on acoustic guitar, right?
It does.
That means it's a good song, no matter what you say.